Feller is your survival insurance when the shelves are empty. Listen up, America. While you're scrolling through your phone right now, global wheat reserves are hitting critical lows. The 2025 climate disasters have devastated wheat fields across the Midwest and Ukraine, and flour prices have doubled since last year. The government won't tell you this, but food security experts are predicting severe flour shortages by winter. Are you prepared? I don't care if you're in Texas, New York, or California, everyone needs to pay attention right now, because what I'm about to share could be the difference between feeding your family and going hungry when things get ugly. Hey folks, welcome back to the Prepping Guide channel. I'm Dave, and today we're diving into something absolutely crucial for your long-term food security: how to store flour for 30+ years. Flour is the backbone of human civilization. Bread, pasta, biscuits, gravy, pancakes, all impossible without it. If you're not stockpiling flour, you're making a potentially fatal mistake. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button and notification bell, because the information in today's video might literally save your family's life someday. And trust me, with what's happening in the world right now, someday might be a lot sooner than you think. Why flour is a critical survival food. Look, flour isn't just another item for your pantry, it's your insurance policy against starvation. When properly stored, white flour can last 30+ years and still be perfectly usable. That's not an exaggeration. The Mormon Church has documented cases of 20-year-old properly stored flour being successfully used in baking. Flour is calorie-dense, giving you roughly 1,600 calories per pound. A single 50-pounds bag can provide one person with 1,000 calories daily for nearly 2 months. At current 2025 prices, that's about $30-40 for TWO months of survival food. Name another versatile food that gives you that much bang for your buck. I'll wait. Plus, flour is incredibly versatile. You can make bread, tortillas, pasta, biscuits, gravy, dumplings, cakes, literally hundreds of different foods. When the grocery stores are empty, you'll be thanking me for pushing you to store this miracle ingredient. White flour versus whole wheat, a critical difference. Now listen carefully, because this could be a $1,000 mistake. While whole wheat flour is healthier with its bran and germ intact, containing more nutrients and fiber than white flour, it has a fatal flaw for long-term storage. The oils in the wheat germ go rancid. According to Utah State University research, whole wheat flour only lasts 6–8 months at room temperature, maybe 12 months in a refrigerator, and at most 2 years in a freezer. After that, it's garbage. Wasted money and wasted storage space. White flour, on the other hand, has had the oily germ and bran removed during processing. This is why it can last for decades when properly stored. The trade-off of slightly lower nutrition for massively increased shelf life is a no-brainer for serious preppers. If you're worried about nutrition, store some multivitamins with your flour cache. Problem solved. Understanding your enemy: what destroys flour? Before I show you the best storage methods, you need to understand what we're fighting against. 4 horsemen are coming for your flour stockpile. Oxygen. Exposure to oxygen causes oxidation, which eventually breaks down flour. This is why simply keeping flour in its original paper bag is a recipe for disaster. Moisture. Even small amounts of moisture can lead to mold and spoilage. Most Americans live in climates that are way too humid for simple flour storage. Light. UV exposure degrades food quality over time. Those beautiful glass containers on your kitchen counter, they're slowly killing your food supply. Pests. Flour beetles, weevils, and moths can destroy your entire stockpile. And here's the terrifying part: their eggs are often already in the flour you bought. That's right, those little monsters are just waiting to hatch. Let me be crystal clear: if you don't address all 4 of these threats, you're wasting your time and money, period. The gold standard, 30+ year flour storage method. Alright, I've tested pretty much every method out there, and I'm going to give you the gold standard for truly long-term flour storage. This isn't what's cheapest or easiest, mind you. This is what works for 30+ years. Start with food-grade 5-gallon buckets with Gamma Seal lids. These cost about $10–15 each, but are worth every penny for their durability and airtight seal. Line each bucket with a 5-gallon mylar bag. Don't cheap out here, get 5+ mil thickness mylar bags. The thin ones can tear too easily. Before filling, place your flour in the freezer for at least 7 days to kill any insect eggs. This step is non-negotiable unless you want to open your emergency supply and find it crawling with bugs. After freezing, let the flour come to room temperature before packaging to prevent condensation. Moisture is the enemy. Add 1 cup of flour to the mylar bag and check thoroughly for any bugs, debris, or foreign objects. You'd be surprised what can slip through quality control these days. Fill the mylar bag with flour, leaving about 3 inches of space at the top. As you fill, periodically shake and tap the bucket to settle the flour and eliminate air pockets. Add 1-2 tablespoons of food-grade diatomaceous earth per 5-gallon bucket. This natural powder will kill any bug eggs that might have survived freezing without affecting the flour's taste or your health. Place 2000 cc of oxygen absorbers in each 5-gallon bag. For smaller containers, use 300 to 500 cc per gallon of storage space. This is non-negotiable if you want true 30-plus year shelf life. Squeeze out as much air as possible and seal the mylar bag with a household iron. Work from the edges toward the center, leaving a small opening to allow remaining air to escape. Once sealed, immediately close the bucket with the Gamma Seal lid, label with contents, type of flour, and date using a permanent marker. Store buckets in a cool, dark, dry place. Ideal temperature is below 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Each fluctuation of 10 degrees Fahrenheit cuts shelf life by approximately 50%. Each 5-gallon bucket prepared this way holds approximately 28 to 30 pounds of flour and provides roughly 45,000 calories. For a family of 4, I recommend a minimum of 10 buckets as your starter stockpile. Best flour types for long-term storage. Not all flour is created equal when it comes to long-term storage. Here's what you need to know. All-purpose white flour. This is your best bet for truly long-term storage. With its bran and germ removed, it has minimal oils to go rancid. King Arthur and gold medal all-purpose flours are consistently rated highest for quality and consistency. Bread flour. Higher in protein, gluten, bread flour stores nearly as well as all-purpose. It's ideal if you plan to bake a lot of yeast breads in an emergency. Bob's Red Mill and King Arthur make excellent bread flours. Self-rising flour. Avoid for long-term storage. The leavening agent's baking powder degrade over time, making it useless for its intended purpose after 1 or 2 years. Whole wheat flour. As mentioned earlier, not suitable for truly long-term storage due to oils that go rancid. If you must store it, use it within 1 or 2 years and rotate regularly. According to Dr. Brian Nummer at Utah State University's Food Storage Research Center, white flour can maintain acceptable quality for 10 or 15 years when stored at room temperature in an oxygen-free environment. When stored at cooler temperatures below 60 degrees Fahrenheit, properly packaged white flour can remain usable for 20-30+ years. Alternative storage methods for different budgets. If you're looking for more budget-friendly options or don't need 30+ years of storage, here are some alternatives. The 2-liter bottle method 7-year storage. This is great for those on a tight budget. Clean and thoroughly dry use 2-liter soda bottles, freeze flour for 7 days, then let return to room temperature, fill bottles with flour, packing it down tightly as you go. Add a small oxygen absorber, 100 cc to each bottle. Store filled bottles in a cool, dark place. While not as effective as the mylar+bucket method, many preppers report this approach keeping flour good for 5-7 years, which is still impressive for nearly zero cost. The vacuum-sealed jar method 8-10-year storage. For those who like to visually inspect their stores, fill clean, dry mason jars with flour. Add a 100 cc oxygen absorber to each jar. Use a food saver with jar attachment to vacuum seal. Store in a dark location. This method gives you 8-10 years of shelf life and the ability to quickly see if anything is wrong with your flour. DIY storage solutions that really work. If you're the handy type, here are some DIY storage solutions that have proven effective. DIY oxygen-free storage buckets. Purchase food-grade 5-gallon buckets from home improvement stores. Instead of expensive Gamma lids, use regular lids with rubber gaskets. Create your own mylar liner by cutting food-grade mylar into squares. Seal with a hair straightener, instead of an iron for more precise control. Add oxygen absorbers as described earlier. Total cost about $8.10 per bucket. compared to $15.20 for commercial solutions. Repurposed freezer storage. If you have an old non-working freezer, clean thoroughly and dry completely. Line with heavy-duty trash bags. Fill with properly packaged flour containers. Seal the lid with weather stripping to keep out pests. Store in a garage or shed. This creates an excellent pest-proof, somewhat climate-controlled storage environment at zero cost. If you already have the freezer. The pest problem, dealing with flour beetles and weevils, they're probably the most underestimated threat to your food security. These tiny beetles lay eggs inside flour, which means the eggs are often already present in flour you purchase. Here's the truth most people won't tell you: every batch of flour should be considered contaminated until treated. The eggs are microscopic, so looking carefully at your flour doesn't help. The gold standard for eliminating pests is freeze your flour at 0 degrees Fahrenheit for a minimum of 7 days before storage. Not 1-2 days like some YouTubers claim. This ensures all life stages of insects are killed. For added protection, add diatomaceous earth, food grade only, at a ratio of 1 tablespoon per 5 to 10 pounds of flour. It's non-toxic to humans but fatal to insects. If you discover an infestation in stored flour, don't panic and don't automatically throw it out. Small infestations can be fixed by freezing the flour again, sifting out the dead insects before repackaging. In a true emergency, even infested flour can be usable. The bugs are actually protein-rich and harmless when cooked, according to entomologist Dr. Linda Mason of Purdue University. Insect eggs in flour are almost unavoidable in commercial products. Proper treatment before storage is essential for long-term viability. Storage management system. Keeping track of your stockpile. Storing flour is only half the battle. You need a management system to ensure you're using and replacing it efficiently. The worst-case scenario is discovering your decade-old stockpile has gone bad because you never used or checked it. Implement these stockpile management practices: the first-in, first-out FIFO system. Arrange buckets so the oldest flour is most accessible. When adding new flour to your stockpile, place it behind older supplies. Use the oldest flour first for regular cooking. Regular inspections. Every 6 months, inspect a small sample from each storage container. Look for signs of moisture, pest activity, or off smells. Check that seals remain intact. Sample testing. Once a year, cook a small amount from your oldest container. Verify taste, texture, and baking properties remain acceptable. Document any changes to help predict maximum storage life. Rotation schedule. Even with 30-plus year potential, aim to rotate through your entire supply every 10 years. This ensures maximum nutritional value and optimal taste. Use rotation events like camping trips or power outages to cycle through older stock. Best practices for different storage conditions. Let's be real. Not everyone has an underground bunker with perfect temperature control. Your storage conditions will dramatically impact how long your flour lasts, so let's address different scenarios. Apartment dwellers: utilize underbed storage space for buckets. Convert closets to food storage by installing shelving. Consider renting a small climate-controlled storage unit if space is severely limited. Store buckets and decorative covers to blend with or hot climate residents. Storage in garages or attics can reduce shelf life by 75% or more. Prioritize the coolest part of your home, even if it's less convenient. Consider insulating storage areas from temperature extreme. Never store directly on concrete floors, which transfer temperature fluctuations. High humidity regions. Double the oxygen absorbers in your containers. Add silica gel desiccant packets alongside oxygen absorbers. Consider vacuum sealing smaller quantities within larger containers. Check seals more frequently for signs of failure. Using your stored flour after long-term storage. When disaster strikes and you need to access your flour stockpile, remember these critical points. Reactivating old flour stored for many years may seem dead when first opened. To reactivate, expose it to air for 24-48 hours before using bills. Consider adding vital wheat gluten 1 tablespoon per cup to improve rising potential. For bread making, use slightly more yeast than normal recipes. Call for cooking without power. A solar oven can reach 350 degrees Fahrenheit on sunny days. Perfect for bread baking. Dutch ovens over coals provide consistent heat for baking. Prepare no-bake recipes like tortillas, flatbreads, and dumplings to conserve fuel. Store recipes that use minimal ingredients alongside your flour, maximizing nutrition, sprout seeds and grains to mix with flour for increased nutrition. Add wild edibles when possible to enhance nutrient content. Add tablespoon of coconut oil per cup of flour adds valuable calories and fat. Mix in dried milk powder to increase protein content of baked goods. According to survival nutritionist Dr. James Thompson, even 30-year-old white flour will retain approximately 80 to 85% of its caloric value, making it a viable survival food long after most other stored foods have failed. Financial aspect of bulk flour storage. Let's talk dollars and cents. In 2025, white flour is still one of the most cost-effective calories you can buy. Bulk white flour costs approximately 60 cents. 0.80 per pound depending on quality and location. Each pound provides roughly 600 calories. That's about 4 cents per 100 calories. Compare that to other survival foods. Freeze-dried meals, 50–80 cents per 100 calories. MREs, 30–40 cents per 100 calories. Canned goods, 25–35 cents per 100 calories. For a family of 4 with a 1-year supply of flour, 400 pounds, you're looking at an investment of around $320. That same caloric value in freeze-dried foods would cost over $3,200. Even better, flour prices have historically risen 3 to 5% annually, making it not just survival food but an inflation-resistant investment. The flour you buy today will almost certainly cost more next year. Myths and mistakes to avoid. Before we wrap up, let me debunk some dangerous myths I've seen floating around YouTube and prepper forums. Myth number 1, just buy flour in bulk and store it in the original bag in a cool place. Wrong. Original packaging offers almost zero protection against moisture, pests, or oxygen. This approach will waste your money and potentially leave you hungry. Myth number 2, a few bay leaves tossed in will keep bugs away forever. Wrong. While bay leaves have some repellent properties, they're not nearly effective enough for long-term storage. Proper freezing and oxygen-free storage are essential. Myth number 3, vacuum sealing alone is sufficient for long-term flour storage. Dangerous thinking. Vacuum sealer bags are somewhat permeable to oxygen over long periods. They're good for 2–3 years, not decades. Myth number 4, flour stored for decades will taste the same as fresh flour. Unrealistic. While properly stored flour remains safe and useful for 30+ years, expect some changes in flavor, aroma, and performance. Adjust recipes accordingly. Myth number 5, you can store any type of commercial flour long-term. Costly mistake. Self-rising flour, whole wheat flour, and specialty flours with added ingredients have significantly shorter shelf lives. Stick with plain white flour for truly long-term storage. Listen, America is facing unprecedented challenges in 2025. Global wheat production is down 18% from historic averages, supply chains are still fragile, and most of your neighbors have less than a week's worth of food on hand. Having a 30+ year supply of flour isn't paranoia, it's practical insurance against an uncertain future. According to the American Preparedness Association, families should store about 300 pounds of grains per person in a 1-year supply, with 100 pounds of that being flour. Start today. Begin with just one 5-gallon bucket properly prepared, then add another next month. Before you know it, you'll have genuine food security that outlasts most other preps. Remember, when the grocery stores are empty, no amount of money will buy you food that doesn't exist. The time to prepare is now, while flour is still affordable and available. If this video helped you, please smash that like button and share it with someone you care about. Their future might depend on this information. Until next time, stay prepared and God bless America.